Hello everyone, and welcome back to Torah Clicks, where I try to give you something worthwhile to click on. I didn't have a chance to do anything on the Parsha this week, so I figured now, while I'm here in the kitchen and making the Chulent, I'll say a quick word on the Parsha. So the truth is, in this week's Parsha in Terumah, we're speaking about the building of the Mishkan. And there's a very interesting Gemara in Parashas on Daf Nun Hey Amen Aleph that speaks about the Mishkan. We know that the one who was in charge of actually building the Mishkan was Bezalel. And Bezalel is a contraction of two words, Betzel Kel, in the shadow of Hashem. So the Gemara in Parashas recounts an interesting conversation that took place between Moshe Rabbeinu and Bezalel, where Moshe Rabbeinu instructed Bezalel on the building of the Mishkan and the keilim, and he told him to prepare everything in the order that we have them in this week's Parsha in Terumah. So that means Moshe Rabbeinu went to Bezalel and he told Bezalel, I want you, the Rebbeinu Shalom says, you should make a Menorah, and you should make a kapiris, that's the lid on top of the Aron, and you should make the kruvim for the Aron, and you should make a Shulchan, that's going to go in the oil mayid, and you should make a Menorah, that's going to go in the oil mayid. This is the order in which Moshe Rabbeinu instructed Bezalel. So he's telling Bezalel to build keilim, to build all of the vessels that would go inside the Mishkan. Only then does Moshe Rabbeinu tell Bezalel how to construct the Mishkan itself. How do I make the building? So then Moshe Rabbeinu starts to tell him, make the yeriyos, make the tapestries that formed the roof of the Mishkan. He instructed him how to make the walls of the Mishkan. So first Moshe Rabbeinu tells Bezalel to make all of the items that are going to go into the Mishkan, and then he tells Bezalel how to build the Mishkan itself. Bezalel asked Moshe Rabbeinu, do you mind if I ask you, is that the way the Rebbeinu Shalom told it to you? You know, it seems a little bit strange. If you ever go to a construction site, you'll see that first they build the house. After they build the house, then the movers come and they put everything in the house. Even during the construction of the house, first they build the actual building, the exterior of the house, then the kitchen people come and they start building the kitchen inside. Why are you telling me that I should first make everything that goes into the building and only then build the building? When I actually make all of these things, where am I going to put them? It doesn't seem to be the right way to build them. So Moshe Rabbeinu told Bezalel, I see why your name is Bezalel. Shema Betzel Kel Hayisa. Perhaps you were standing in the shadow of the Rebbeinu Shalom when the Rebbeinu Shalom spoke to me, because indeed you're right. The Rebbeinu Shalom told me that I should tell you to first make the Mishkan and then make the keilim. Where is this coming from? So the Gemara says that in Parashas Kisisa, when Moshe Rabbeinu speaks to Bezalel, in Parashas Kisisa, when the Rebbeinu Shalom tells Moshe Rabbeinu to instruct Bezalel, indeed, over there it says, first make the building, first make the krushim, make the actual Mishkan, and then make the keilim. But over here in Terumah, we have the keilim coming first, and the Gemara in Parashas seems to be saying that what we have here in Terumah, that's the order in which Moshe Rabbeinu told Bezalel. Okay, so this is an interesting Gemara, but the question is, Bezalel was smarter than Moshe Rabbeinu? Bezalel picked up on this and Moshe Rabbeinu didn't. Moshe Rabbeinu made a mistake. Moshe Rabbeinu told it to Bezalel in the wrong way. What's going on here? It doesn't seem right. So I think, and I'm basing this on something I saw years ago from Rabbi Gedalia Shor, Zechet Tzadik Livracha, I think the way you have to look at it is like this. The focus of the Mishkan is the Kachei Kachim. The focus of the Mishkan, the main point of the Mishkan, is the Aron HaKodesh in the Kachei Kachim. What is the Mishkan? Like the Ramban says in his Akdama to this week's Parsha, the point of the Mishkan is the Klal Yisrael was Mekabel the Torah, and because they were Mekabel the Torah, they became a Mamleches Kaihanim v'Goy Kadosh. They became a nation of ministers and a Goy Kadosh, a holy nation. They became a Segula. We became a treasure to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and because we were Mekabel the Torah, and because we have the status of Mamleches Kaihanim v'Goy Kadosh, for that reason we are worthy, and the Rebbeinu Shalom tells us to build a Mishkan and a Beis HaMikdash, to have the Shechina, to have the divine presence amongst us in this world. That's the point of the Mishkan. That's the point of the Beis HaMikdash, to have the Shekhinah here on this world. And the truth is that the concept of the Beis HaMikdash and the Mishkan is a very important concept in our lives. And when we had a Mishkan and when we had a Beis HaMikdash, our challenge of spiritual growth in this world was much easier. What is a Mishkan? What is a Beis HaMikdash? Here in this world, we live in an Olam HaGashmi. We live in a material world. The Shekhinah is not material. The Shekhinah is completely spiritual. Our challenge in this world is to elevate the material and bring it to the spiritual. Our challenge in this world is always to not look at things in just materialistic eyes. We have to be able to look at things in a ruchniistic way, in a spiritual way, according to the way the Torah wants us to. So to give you an example, a person has a challenge. I want to go to a Daf Yomi shir, but the Daf Yomi shir is going to take up an hour of my day. I don't know where I have an hour. I don't know if I have an hour. I don't have time. Those are gashmiistic eyes. That's a materialistic way of looking at it. What you have to remember is who gives you time. The Rebbeinu Shalom gives you time. The Rebbeinu Shalom could give you as much time as he wants. The Rebbeinu Shalom could make your commute to work take a lot longer. Or if you have a very long commute to work, the Rebbeinu Shalom could suddenly arrange that you have a different job that's 10 minutes away from your house. The Rebbeinu Shalom could make that when you go to a doctor for a doctor's appointment, instead of sitting in the waiting room for 2 hours, you'll be seen in 5 minutes. So the Rebbeinu Shalom could always give you time. Our challenge is, don't look at things through a gashmiistic eye. Look at them through a ruchniistic eye. What does the Rebbeinu Shalom want from me? What does the Torah HaKadosh want from me? Then you're looking through Torah-dika eyes. And this applies to everything. All of our challenges here in Olam Hazeh. You have to spend money on a mitzvah. You have to spend money to give money to tzedakah. The gashmiistic eyes tell you, I got to watch the balance in the bank account. The ruchniistic eyes tell you, you know what? The money that I give to tzedakah, who gave me the money? The Rebbeinu Shalom gave me the money. If I use the money the way the Rebbeinu Shalom wants, he'll give it back to me. He'll give it to me in more ways. So this is always our challenge. What's a Mishkan? What's a Beis HaMikdash? The Beis HaMikdash is a place where the ruchnius overtakes the gashmius. What do I mean? The Gemara says that if you went into the Kachei Kachim and you measured the space inside the Kachei Kachim, the Aron HaKodesh Einoi Min Hamida. The Aron HaKodesh took up no space. What does that mean? It didn't take up space. Well, if you went into the Mishkan, into the Kachei Kachim was 10 amos wide. So let's say you went into the Kachei Kachim and you measured the space from the left-hand wall to the side of the Aron. You would get 5 amos. And then if you skipped the Aron and you measured from the other side of the Aron to the other wall, you would get 5 amos, for a total of 10 amos. What happened to the space in the middle where the Aron HaKodesh is? The Aron HaKodesh Einoi Min Hamida. The Aron HaKodesh didn't take up any space. How could that be? What does that mean it didn't take up space? It's a nace. Yeah, but you know what the point of that nace is? The point of that nace is the ruchnius is overtaking the gashmius. You have this perfect blend. You have the ruchnius here in Olam Hazeh, and it's not subjugated to the rules of Olam Hazeh. It surpasses Olam Hazeh. It overtakes Olam Hazeh. It's not subjugated by Olam Hazeh. The Mesos Yesharim says that that's the nature of our very creation. What are we? We're a physical guf. We're a physical body. We're a davar gashmi. But the Rebbeinu Shalom took a neshama. The neshama is a davar ruchni. And he put it into our guf, which is a davar gashmi. Really, that's oil and water. It shouldn't blend. It shouldn't mix. They shouldn't be able to stay together. The Rebbeinu Shalom made a nace that the ruchni and the gashmi stay together. And that's our challenge in this world, is to elevate the gashmias and not get stuck in the gashmias and to live a ruchniistic life. And that's what the Mishkan and the Beis HaMikdash did for us. So the focus of the Mishkan and the focus of the Beis HaMikdash is the Aron HaKodesh that's in the Kachei Kachim. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu, when Moshe Rabbeinu was instructing Bezalel, his eye was on the prize. His eye was on the Aron HaKodesh. So he told Bezalel, I'm telling you how to make a Mishkan, you got to start there. Aron HaKodesh, that's my whole focus. This is Moshe Rabbeinu, who spoke to the Rebbeinu Shalom panim el panim. He spoke directly with the Shekhinah, directly with the divine presence. So his focus was completely on the Aron HaKodesh. So when he started his conversation, he started with the goal. he started the Aron HaKodesh. Betzalel said, Moshe Rabbeinu, we can't go straight to the top. We can't go straight to the Aron HaKodesh. First we need to make a Mishkan. First we need to make a building where people understand, okay, this is where the Shekhinah is. We have to start from the bottom and work our way up. You have to realize, Betzalel's argument was not a practical argument. His argument, even though that's the way the Gemara couches it, the Gemara makes it sound like a practical argument. Moshe Rabbeinu, you're telling me I should make keilim first? When I make the keilim, when I make the Aron, where am I going to put it? I don't have a Mishkan. It's not a valid argument. The reason it's not a valid argument is because it didn't matter which one you made first. The Mishkan wasn't being put up until Rosh Chodesh Nisan. And on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the Mishkan was going to be there and the keilim were going to be there. So on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, they were going to put up the Mishkan first and then bring in the keilim. So it didn't matter which one you actually constructed first. So Betzalel's argument was not a practical argument. His argument was, Moshe Rabbeinu, you have to realize, you are Moshe Rabbeinu. You're the one who spoke to the Rebbeinu Shalom Panim El Panim. Your eye is on the prize. You could go directly to the Aron HaKodesh. You could go directly to the epitome of greatness, to the actual lesson of the Beis HaMikdash and the Mishkan. But Klal Yisrael is not holding ready by the Aron HaKodesh. We have to start with Yeriyos, with the tapestries that form the roof of the Mishkan, so we understand that there's going to be an area that where the Shekhinah is going to come. We could build the structure. Then we could start bringing in the keilim. When we bring in the keilim, when you start bringing in the keilim of the Beis HaMikdash and the Mishkan, every keli has a different lesson. The Menorah represents Torah. We have to start to infuse Klal Yisrael with the Torah, with learning Torah. The Shulchan, where the Lechem HaPanim was, that signifies the Gashmias in this world. It signifies Parnasa. The Gemara, when Parnasa was a lot easier for Klal Yisrael when we had a Beis HaMikdash. Why is that? Because it's like the Ramban says, you need something for the Rebbeinu Shalom's bracha to be chal on. The Rebbeinu Shalom's bracha has to rest on something. When we had a Shulchan with Lechem HaPanim in the Beis HaMikdash, that was a davar gashmi. Again, it's bread, it's gashmias, in the Beis HaMikdash, in the makam of ruchnias, and it represented the physical needs of Klal Yisrael. And the Rebbeinu Shalom gave the bracha of Parnasa, and the bracha of giving Klal Yisrael their physical needs came through the Shulchan. So a person comes to the Beis HaMikdash, he hears about the Shulchan. When people would be oil regel, the Kehana would actually bring the Shulchan out and show it to the people. So people see, okay, there's a Menorah, that's Torah. There's a Shulchan. The Rebbeinu Shalom takes care of all of our physical needs. He gives me everything that I have. Slowly, we build people up until they could finally come to the point of an Aron HaKodesh, where they could come mamish to be, like the Mesos Yesharim says, the final step in a person's growth is Ruach HaKodesh, when a person could become really totally sanctified. That's what Betzalel was saying. Betzalel was saying we need to grow. I think that an important takeaway for us from this discussion is that, yes, a person has to realize that it takes time to grow. And a person has to be okay with that. And a person has to realize wherever he is, whatever he's up to, he has to take stock, he has to set a baseline, and then he has to say, okay, now I'm going to grow. And I'm going to grow slowly. What can I take on? What can I do a little bit more? How could I pay a little bit more attention to my davening every day? I'm not going to jump in tomorrow and suddenly become the fellow who's davening a whole shachris with kavana and not daydreaming even for a second. No, start slowly. Take a look at your davening. What is your davening like? Realize what all your needs are and that everything comes from the Rebbeinu Shalom. And when you come to daven, you're talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Pay a little bit more attention in Pesukah de Zimra, where we praise the Rebbeinu Shalom and acknowledge that he has the power over everything, so that then we can daven Shemona Esrei and ask him for what we need. Pick a bracha in Shemona Esrei that you're going to have that resonates with you. Maybe, unfortunately, Nebuch Aleinu, maybe you know somebody who's not well and you want to work on the bracha of Rifa'enu. Maybe Parnasa is a little bit difficult. You want to work on the bracha of Baruch Aleinu. Maybe it could be anything. Take the first pasuk of Shema, of Kriya Shema, and have kavanah, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem, the Shem Havaya, Haya Haya V'yiyah Elokeinu. He's our God. We have a relationship. We have a personal relationship with Bari Olam. Take something and grow a little bit at a time. We're not going to jump straight to the Aron HaKodesh. It takes time for a person to grow. I think that's what Betzalel was saying to Moshe Rabbeinu. And what was Moshe Rabbeinu's answer? Moshe Rabbeinu's answer was, Shema B'tseil Kel Hayisa. Indeed, maybe you were standing B'tseil Kel. Me, Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm not B'tseil Kel. I'm not in the shadow of the Ribbono Shel Olam. I spoke to the Ribbono Shel Olam panim el panim, directly. And that's why my focus was on the Aron. You, Betzalel, you're B'tseil Kel. You're a little bit more removed than me. And that's why you understood this. That's why you realized the need to give this lesson over to Klal Yisrael. I hope you enjoy these little video clips. If you do, I would ask you to click on that little subscribe button. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Shabbos and be well.